Hey folks, I got a couple of special factory order 85s from CollectorKnives.net. Figured I'd make a quick little video on them. He's done a run of these before, Mike Latham, that is, at Collector Knives. You just got to watch out for his early reserve. Put in your reserve for him and then hope that you can pull the trigger fast enough to get a couple. Or you can spend a ridiculous amount of money on eBay or secondary market or whatever. I got a couple of these directly from Mike. Beautiful knives. I love the design and the combination of the long match strike pull with the easy open on the nice to carry 3.5 inch, 3 and 11/16, something like that, bolt and jack pattern makes them very popular. So yeah, let's take a look at them. I got a 2-blade in jig bone, and I really like this one. I typically like 2 blades. Nice dye on the bone. I like how it's lighter on the edges, dark in the middle. Kind of interesting jigging. You don't usually see this from GEC. Kind of a unique little jigging pattern. They got the corset shield, and I think I've only ever seen that on I want to say a number 12. And it's probably on a couple different patterns, but it's not the most common. We've got a single line with pinched bolsters, brass liners, brass hardware. Like I said, you've got that match striker pull. Very cool. And one of the things I like the most about Mike Latham's special factory orders is that he uses satin finish on the blades, even though they're Northfield models. I do not like the mirror polish that GEC does, and I generally don't like mirror polish, at all. The satin patinas a lot more easily. I just like the way it looks. It doesn't take on fingerprints as well. So this has got a coping secondary, again with that match strike pull. I don't know how I feel about it on the secondary. Kind of reminds me of a Rough Rider or something. But that's fine. Beautiful swedge there with that perfectly flat grind coming to that nice box opening edge on that coping blade. No gaps in this one. Good fit and finish. Mine does have a crack in the pin, or crack in the bone. But Mike actually saw a post on the forum about that and took care of it. The only other issue with this knife, I've never seen this before on a GC, is that these springs aren't flush with the liners or the bolsters. You see that? They're actually fairly proud. And if you look at it from this perspective, it seems as though, I'm not sure if I can pull this off, they ground them even, but then the springs got moved somehow after the grinding process, because the edge here is off by the same amount that the springs are not flush. Not the biggest deal in the world. I'm not reselling these or anything. These are users. So that's cool. And then the other thing he did was something you don't really ever see except for on Northwoods knives, is a saber grind. I didn't know how I was going to feel about this. I went ahead and picked it up anyway, and I love it. It's fantastic, and I have never gotten a sharper GEC than this one. This is in the natural stag. I'm pretty sure I ordered polished stag, but I got a natural stag. I'm not going to complain. It's very beautiful. It's not too thick, but it's a little bit beefier, which is great because this is a single blade knife. And the pull's a little bit lighter on this one. It pulls a little bit lighter. And don't have that issue with the spring. The only issue with this knife is that, let's see if I can get this to show up. The blade wraps the back spring if you snap it shut. There it is, right there. See that right there? Right there. So they gave me the sharpest GEC I've ever had. and then I close it and it puts a dent. It's not the biggest one, and it'll probably come out after a couple sharpenings. But I'm a little disappointed just because this is a saber grind, so after a couple sharpenings, that edge is going to become very pronounced. I've had this happen on a few other GECs. It's not uncommon. I've got a 72 where this happens, and actually it happens very minutely with this one. It should come out after my first sharpening. But yeah, it's just something that kind of bugs me a little bit, because I'm kind of anal about my edges. But overall, this is beautiful, and for a single blade knife, I'm real happy about it. Real happy about it. No gaps. Everything's great. And if you actually send your knife to GEC about that hitting that part of the bolster or part of the back spring there that's raised a little bit to accommodate that pin, they will just sharpen your knife until it doesn't hit it anymore. That's how they fix it. So I'm not going to send it to them. But yeah, great. GC 2016 production, 85s, home run. And thanks so much to Mike for doing the early reserve system. I know some people have been complaining about it recently, but it's so much better than the alternative of him dumping the knives on the site and it just being a free-for-all. Sell out in 10 minutes. So thanks again, Mike. Definitely my favorite place to buy knives is collectorknives.net. And, yeah, beautiful knives. All right, folks, until next time, take care.